What's up everyone, John here, and today we're going to be talking about Arcade1Up and how they become one of my favorite companies in 2020. But before we check them out, I wanted to remind you that I will be posting tech deals on a regular basis. Some of these deals are limited, so make sure you're set up to receive all notifications so you don't miss out. So we've been able to play iconic arcade games at home for a while now. Games like Pac-Man, Street Fighter 2, and Mortal Kombat have been ported to multiple gaming consoles, and it's pretty easy to play these games at home and not have to go to an actual arcade. But Arcade1Up takes it a step further by bringing you not just a game, but also the look and feel of an arcade cabinet. In terms of games, there are a lot to choose from. There are classics like Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Galaga, fighters like Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, Marvel Superheroes, and even some unique cabinets that don't use traditional sticks like Golden Tee and Star Wars. Some cabinets are harder to find than others based on how long it's been since they first released, but according to Arcade1Up, they plan to refresh some of the Gen 1 cabinets if there's a lot of demand. One of the best things about the cabinets is that you don't just get one game, but they're always bundled with other games, usually sequels or variations of the marquee game. So the cabinets that I have are Marvel Superheroes and Star Wars. Marvel vs. Capcom was probably one of my favorite games to play in the arcade, even though I wasn't the best at it. But at the time, Marvel Superheroes was the closest thing they had, so I jumped on getting it. They actually announced a new Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet not too long ago, but I actually don't need it, and I'll tell you why later. As for Star Wars, I've actually never played the original. I don't remember ever seeing one growing up in Hawaii, but I love Star Wars. The uniqueness of the cabinet caught my eye, and the gameplay looked awesome. I put a lot of hours into these cabinets, and they honestly never get old, especially Star Wars because it's a high score driven game, and every time you lose you want to keep trying and trying again, and I've been trying since March to get that first place score, and it still hasn't happened. Now it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some downsides to these cabinets, the first being its size. They're pretty small, 3/4 scale according to the company. I think they're smaller, and in terms of practicality, it makes sense. They want you to buy more than one, so if they're smaller, that means that you can fit more in your home. Where this can be a problem is that if you're really tall, you're not going to have a good time. I'm 5'8", so I don't have much of an issue, but even I have to look down a little further than I'd like to look at the screen. Also, when playing with a second player, things can get pretty cramped. It's doable, but still cramped. They have 4-player Turtles and NBA Jam cabinets, and I honestly can't imagine fitting 4 adults on that thing. Another negative that people may have is the game selection. Most of these have only 3 or 4 games, and I can see people wanting to add more, especially if you already have the appropriate number of buttons and sticks to play other games. This is where modding the cabinets can help. It's actually pretty easy to do. There are a lot of YouTube tutorials out there, and once you do it, your library of games see a huge increase. Remember how I told you Marvel vs. Capcom was one of my favorites? Well, now I can play it on my Marvel Superheroes cab thanks to this mod. If you want only one cabinet that has all of the games you want, this is the route to go. Now you would think that Arcade1Up hates the modding community, but surprisingly that's not the case. Some of their team members are fairly active in the community and appear pretty frequently on popular modding channels. I think they realize that while there are some people who will just buy one cabinet, mod it, and never buy another, there are more people who will buy multiple cabinets because 1. Arcade1Up released a cabinet that's special to them, 2. Unique input methods that can't be easily added to an existing cabinet, like the yoke for Star Wars for example, and 3. Having that true arcade feel, multiple cabinets lined up together, all playing at the same time. In my case, I already had my Marvel cabinet modded, but I still got another cabinet because of my love for Star Wars, and the yoke controls can't easily be replicated. And I'm not done. Don't tell my fiance. Arcade1Up is probably going to take all of my money because this year they're introducing their first light gun cabinet with Big Buck Hunter. Light gun games were my favorite type of games to play in the arcade. I enjoy playing Big Buck Hunter and I might pick it up, but I'm more excited to see the future of light gun games. If they release a Time Crisis cab or Area 51, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. There are even rumors of driving cabinets coming soon, so you can really bring that full arcade experience home. The future is looking bright for Arcade1Up. They haven't been around for very long. Their first wave of cabinets came out at the end of 2018, and in that little time, they've secured big name licenses, and their library and variety of games are expanding every year. They're not a household name yet, but I see them getting very popular by the end of the year, if not next. I've seen them in the background of celebrity homes and even show up in the NBA bubble. I mean, they even have a Supreme collab that they're doing for their Mortal Kombat cab. If you haven't already, it's time to jump on the Arcade1Up bandwagon. So what do you think of Arcade1Up? Do you already own one? Is there a specific cabinet that you'd like to see? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, if you guys liked today's video, be sure to show some love by smashing that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe by clicking right over here. Now that's it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.